everybody, it's the Princess and the Furbs here. So I wanted to go ahead and record this sort of life hackish kind of thing that I found out with my older Furbies. I think it was sometime last year that I discovered it. And I wanted to show it to those of you whose 90s model Furbies have messed up motion sensors that don't seem to be working, but also don't have the knowledge and ability to, open them up and like clean them out or whatever, because like I haven't the slightest idea how to do that either. I would definitely have to get help in doing it, and I would, understandably, I don't want something to happen and I can't get the Furby back to normal because I messed something up, right? So if that's you, but you have a Furby whose motion sensor either doesn't work at all or isn't working very well, and you don't want to open it up and try to get inside the whole like machinery thing and like fix the motion sensor that way, this will help. Now I will warn you that I'm gonna be doing something that I would not, and nor would anybody else recommend that you do, at least harshly. So well, he woke up, but then he went back to sleep. But what I found is that if you carefully kind of shimmy the Furby, and I'm just going to wake him up the old-fashioned way because that's just going to be a lot faster. But, so obviously, sometimes if he's got the sleep problem where he won't wake up, you know how you have to kind of shake him and have your finger at his mouth at the same time? It's kind of like that with the motion sensor life hack, but not quite. And he's not wanting to do it. I was having this problem with him earlier, but I'm not going to hard reset him. I'm not going to do that to him. But basically what you do, if you want him to respond to being tilted, you turn him on his side and you just kind of shimmy him and see how he responded to that, even though he went back to sleep. But he did respond to that, so I just like shimmied him just a little. You never ever want to shake these guys hard because they will get kind of knocked out of alignment, and that's how they start acting crazy, because their gears are like knocked out of alignment, and then somebody will have to open the unit up and it's going to be a big mess. So as long as you do it carefully, like small shakes, like see, now he's awake. So for my non-sighted audience, because I know there might be, because well, I'm a blind YouTuber doing this, I want to make sure that everybody gets to know what I'm doing. You just turn him on his side, and you kind of do it. I'm gonna do it with my right hand to make it easier because I'm right-handed. I'm gonna turn him on his side. The left side's where the motion sensor is, from what I understand. And you just very carefully do like a quick little shimmy shake kind of thing. And hold on. He won't respond while he's doing that. And you shake him a little. You don't shake him too roughly. You just shake him. Now, it may take a minute for him to respond, but if you do it, there you go. Again, you want to be very cautious with how you do this, and don't like give him like shaken Furby syndrome, but just like shake him like this, kind of shake him a little more than you normally would, and just You know, it might also help to kind of, you know, wiggle him back and forth like this. And since I've been working with him a little bit, his motion sensor is already starting to kind of work more normally. Now it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of shake him very carefully and just kind of keep going back side to side while I'm doing that until he does something, until he responds. Now, at first, it is frustrating and it is tiring because it takes a minute because these guys are really stuck. There we go. See, he just did it again. And, oh, so I tilted him normally that time and he actually responded because I've been shaking him. I've been kind of shimmying him, basically. You're not, like, never shake him hard, like I said. Just, you know, shimmy him until he does something. It does take a little bit of muscle, kind of. It's a little bit of an arm workout. But as long as you're not, like, you know, tossing him around really aggressively, and you're just, you know, a little at a time. And what you'll notice is after doing that a while, both of mine do this. The gorilla one is a little bit better off than this one, but I'll show you with both of them. What I've found is that sometimes if I just lay them on their side or lay them on their back, especially after I've just given them a shake, sometimes the motion sensor will just go off by itself, even without you touching him. If he's like just laying there, Bobo's not going to do it as much because, yeah, he's been sitting for quite some time. I think Mimi has too, but I don't think he's been sitting quite as long. So I'm going to grab Mimi and I'm going to show you, since his motion sensor is a little better off, and do the same thing with him. And he's singing. So you do the same thing with him. Just shimmy him a little. If it doesn't work, turn him on the other side and do the same thing. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let him, I'm just kind of holding him on his side right now. I'm not actually shaking him or anything right now because I have loosened his motion sensor enough where it is just randomly going off. Now that's a little creepy. For some, I'm sure it's a little disconcerting because there's very little provocation going on. So you definitely don't want to leave them like this while they're sleeping, although I tried that thinking that was going to help. I even tried it on deep sleep mode so that they could lay like that for a while, but the problem with that is they can still wake up and sometimes they will even glitch. Both of them have done it. But you'll notice, since I've been working on him as much as I have with Bobo, and he hasn't been sitting quite as long, I noticed that if I just like leave him on his side like this, with only like a little shake here and there, I could literally lay him down on my bed, like on his side, and just let him just rock and roll. I'm gonna shake him a little because he's not doing it now. And now that I've done that, he's going off on his own again. Eventually, like, I think if you do this long enough and you're like really consistent about it, if you're really persistent about it, they might eventually get to where they're not so random, and they might actually maybe respond more normally after the fact by just being normally tilted. But I haven't worked with it long enough to really do that for sure, because I don't play with these guys as much as like some of my other Furbies. But you'll notice he's just kind of going off right now. Because I've loosened his motion sensor enough to do that, but of course it is really random. So I'm just kind of holding him on his side right now. And moving him very minimally. And he's just going and going and going, as you can hear. He is chatting away. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll get to where these guys will respond normally to being, tilted normally. I don't know, how long it would take to do that. But yeah, he's hanging out on the laptop. But yeah, so you can see he is just going and going nonstop now that I do that. So I'm gonna set him back upright so he will hush. And there you go. There's a little life hack you can use for getting the motion sensor to kind of sort of work again. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. But, as long as you're cautious with them and you're not aggressive with them, and you're, working on it consistently, you will eventually get them to where they will respond to being tilted again. Because for me personally, that was one of my favorite things to do with these guys, was to, tilt them all different directions and watch them go woo, 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 and, see how excited they get. So yeah, that was a little life hack from the Princess and the Furbs. And I will see you guys in the next video. And Bobo's falling asleep. Bobo, you want to... Okay, so he gave you one more song. He's probably going to fall asleep again soon. So yep. Have a good one, y'all.